Hey everybody, it's Philosopher. Welcome back out to the channel. Today we got an exciting episode. We're going to be taking a look at another 380 ACP self-defense round out of our Bodyguard 2.0. And we're going to be today looking at this lead-free Barnes bullet loaded by Buffalo Bore. It's their Plus P version. Should be a good time. Let's get to shooting. So if you've been watching the series, we have over 30 videos on 380 ACP out of the Smith Wesson Bodyguard 2.0. It's pretty curious because in this scenario, we're talking about a round or a cartridge that's maybe barely viable, and then we're putting it into a gun that's super small. Now, I love the fact that it's so small. One of the benefits of 380 is that it operates at a lower pressure that allows you to give a very thin, very small, short gun. Short doesn't matter, a very thin and very small gun. So we're looking like, is there a reason to use self-defense ammunition, or should you just be using round nose or flat nose FMJ? I have a whole series on these videos. I've got direct comparisons with flat nose versus hollow points. Even hollow points that don't expand, in my opinion, do better than the flat nose. Today we're going to be looking at a lead-free variety. It's probably mostly copper from Barnes. They're known for some of their great lead-free bullets, and it's loaded by Buffalo Bore, and it's in the Plus P configuration. Whoa, Plus P trigger bar. Oh, okay, so hold up, hold your horses. I realize that the Smith Wesson Bodyguard says that it cannot shoot Plus P. The main reason for that is there is no standard for what Plus P means. So one ammunition company can load it up 10%, 20%, 30% hotter than the standard. Another one can do the standard, right? Or 50%. And if you're a gun manufacturer, how are you going to warranty your gun is going to work when you don't even know what people are going to be shooting out of it? So they all say you can't shoot Plus P ammo. But if you read the Buffalo box, it says for use in 380 auto pistols in normal operating conditions. Well, it's about 50 degrees here today. Sure, there's snow on the ground, but it's melting fast. This is a normal operating condition. We're going to put it into this gun. You're going to say, hey, this is horrible. You're going to blow your gun up. I could, and I've tested some Buffalo Bore ammunition in the past where it claimed it was going to be getting 1,200 feet per second, and it got 1,350 feet per second. It's not supposed to do that, so I am a little suspicious of what Buffalo Bore is going to do to me today. But normally what that Plus P is going to do, it's going to wear out your components in your gun just a little bit faster. I wouldn't recommend it shooting a lot of it in your gun, but you may be able to shoot a few rounds here and there with it. And so if you're going to carry it as your self-defense gun, you want to make sure that you run enough rounds to make sure that it's reliable, but not too many rounds that you wear out your gun. Also, some of you may just disagree and say, I'm not running Plus P in my gun. That's fine. I'm not telling you that you should. I'm not recommending that you should. I'm just testing what this ammunition will do out of this Bodyguard 2.0. So laid that all out. If this still pisses you off, please leave now. All right, very well. You signed up for this course. Let's go through it. All right, so we're going to test it in our clear ballistic gel setup. We have a quote-unquote real-world contraption, very similar to what Gun Sam uses, except we have 2 layers of t-shirt, 2 layers of denim, 2 inches of clear ballistic gel, followed by a 1/4 inch of medium-density fiberboard, then more clear ballistic gelatin. That medium-density fiberboard serves as sort of a barrier that like bone might be. You could call it a rib simulation. I think Gun Sam calls it that, but it's really just a barrier in there. It does have some similar properties. It has water density that's similar to bone, and it has a hardness similar to bone. So it's not a bad simulation for it, but whether or not it's going to behave exactly like a human torso, I don't know. We definitely know there are differences between clear ballistic and organic gelatin. But this is what we have, and I have over 30 videos. Well, probably have about 20 videos showing this test setup so you can compare this round to other rounds, and that's the most important part, to see if this performs better or worse than the other ones, and then you can make the decision based on that judgment. And candidly, I'm in search for what the best round is, so I can make the best decision. All right, with that said, let's get to testing. Before we get started, let's take a quick look at this bullet. You can see it's a very hollowed out, so it maintains the shape of a regular 380 ACP, but it's much lighter than it would be for this size bullet. So yeah, 80 grains. Let's see what we get. We got this 80 grain projectile from Buffalo Bore, and we have our test set up. I've got a chronograph down there. We're gonna turn on our slow motion camera. We'll see how it goes. We'll shoot it once into the full contraption and then just one into some bare naked gel. Let me turn on the video. recording. Here we go. All right, that's 1211 is what we got. Let's go see where it ended up. Hopefully you can all see this. We had this bullet, it came into the back of the block. I'll try and change it around, but it came in, it didn't get going very far. We'll take a quick measurement. And again, just lining it up where that external gel is at, came out to about the, for generous, 8.5, 8 inches, 7.5 inches, measuring from up top here. Yeah, about 7.5 inches. Looks like it expanded very nicely, but just didn't get the distance. And so this is one of the challenges with 380 ACP. We finally get bullets that are expanding. Buffalo bore loaded that, 1,200 feet per second, an 80 grain projectile. It's great that it's going fast enough and we get expansion, but it didn't go deep enough because it got so much expansion. So just take a look. Came in through our t-shirt and our jeans, 2 inches of gel, and then hit our medium density fiberboard. That's not a bad size hole for 380 ACP. You can see it had expanded very nicely, didn't get caught up in the t-shirt. And then let's pull this round out. Well, let me try and give a different look at this. Before I pull it out, came in here, again, did very nice damage, but just stopped there. Let me pull this out now. And here we go. This is our round, expanded very nicely. It looks to me very similar to that Cellular and Below XRG bullet, but that XRG got quite a bit more penetration than this did. I believe it's a slightly lighter round, and so probably didn't expand as much. Let me pull out the calipers, and we will just get some measurements here. So again, got really good, got very nice expansion. One of the best expansions we've got on 380 ACP, out to 0.3, out to 0.66. That's pretty impressive. 6.7, yep, out to 0.67. That's very impressive expansion. You may choose to use a bullet like this if you want something that doesn't go as deep but does more damage, and then your next bullet goes deeper, doesn't get as wide a damage. You stack them. Some people like that. Some people think it's stupid. I'm just giving you data and options for what you want to do. You can put in the comments below of what you prefer. Not a bad, again, loaded very nicely from Buffalo bore. Just the bullet design is pretty tough for 380 because it just can't get far enough in. Going 1,200 feet per second for an 80 grain projectile and 380 ACP, that's not bad. Next we have same bullet, same gun. We're going to shoot it into just the clear ballistics. We've taken off the rib simulation. We've taken off the clothing. We've taken off everything except for just the clear ballistic gel. You never know when you're going to get a naked attacker, and sometimes you use these guns when it's hot out, and what if you had a naked attacker? Let's see what would happen. Right, 1174, so a little bit of variability with that. And let's go down and check it out. Taking a look at this round, comes in here down in front, gets tremendous expansion. It just does a phenomenal job, but then gets out. It looks, so much deeper than the other one, but it's because we're missing, the 2 inches or so in front of it. So we get out to about 9 inches, almost 10. So, I think that's, good information to have. Again, adding that rib simulation, how that compares with FBI and all of that stuff with its testing. Just know that 380 ACP in clear ballistics does do a little bit longer, deeper penetration than what you would get with organic gelatin. I have a video series on comparing that. At least I have one video comparing clear ballistics in 380 ACP out of this gun with organic gelatin, and it does get about a couple of inches deeper. So just know that when you make that comparison for yourself. I think this is probably for me not deep enough penetration, but you know, still looks like doing a pretty good job. Maybe out of a longer 380 ACP handgun, you might get more velocity, but then again, I think it's just going to expand so much that it doesn't get through it. Obviously, the barrier had a big impact on this round. Let's get up top and get a little bit closer look at the different wound tracks. Just taking a look at these two wound tracks, you can see that other one is just a lot wider and bigger. And again, it just, a lot of that energy and momentum was taken out of that medium density fiberboard, perhaps some of the clothing. So those barriers are going to present some issues. But, you know, hey, look, if that medium density fiberboard is similar enough to Hart and just as a front shot, it probably gets deep enough. But if you're sideways or angles or other stuff like that, it's probably not getting deep enough. Take a quick look at these two rounds. The one on the left is with the medium density, sorry, I've got paint on my hands. Medium density fiberboard, the one on the right is without it. We definitely got more expansion, at least the bullet peeled back more with the medium density fiberboard. But yeah, and this is more shallow. The divot is more shallow on the one that had the medium density fiberboard. This other one expanded maybe a little bit more out to 0.7. That's curious. Interesting. So widest, it looks like this had pushed back a little bit further, bent back the petals a little more than this one. But, you know, again, that's very nice expansion, but just questionable penetration. Okay, next up, we got 5 rounds of this loaded in our Bodyguard 2.0. And what we're going to do is we are going to get some chronograph or radar readings off of this ammunition, see if we can get a little better baseline of what types of velocities we're seeing with this. It was around 1,200 feet per second. The box says it gets a little bit more than that, but that definitely could be out of this shorter barrel. We don't know what old Tin Sundle's barrel length, at least I don't. He usually listed on his website that he tested this off of. I'm sure you can find it. That's one thing I actually do like about his website. All right, well, let's see what we get. 5 shots. All right, I'm not getting locked back. I'm fairly certain it's either my hand or this magazine, but it has nothing to do with this ammo because I was getting it on much lighter loaded ammo as well. All right, so the min for that, for our session summary, we got a min of 1194, an average of 1102, and a max of 1210. That's pretty good. Standard deviation of 5.8, not bad. Average kinetic energy of 256. That's some what I would consider plus P rated ammunition. Hot stuff is getting around 200, a little over 200. This is getting 1250. It's a lighter projectile than normal ammunition in 380 ACP. So oftentimes when you load up lighter ammunition, you can get it going a little faster and your kinetic energy goes up. But like what we saw in the gel test, doesn't always translate to doing the things that you want a pistol round to do. But that's interesting. One thing I thought I might do is just real quick, I have my Ruger Security 380, which does not have a stipulation about the plus P ammo in its manual. I thought I might try that out. So let's check that out. Okay, so we have the Ruger Security 380, and you might check out that we've got an optic cut for it by the folks over at North Carolina Engravers. I have no relationship with them. Just found them on the internet. Pretty cool that they'll do that for the Ruger Security 380. Bringing this gun up to a little bit more modern type performance. I really love this gun too. Very smooth, light shooting gun. Very easy to load the magazines, very easy to load the slide. It's hammer fired. There's some pretty cool things about this gun in terms of who can shoot this and who might want to shoot this type of gun. But yeah, why don't we I just have 3 rounds loaded up in it. Let's see how it does. Take a quick look at that session summary. It doesn't look like we went up in power by much by that. What is it? I think it's like a 1/2 inch longer barrel. So that's kind of interesting for us. So for our session summary today, we got a min of 1210, an average of 1224. That's about 20-ish feet per second more with that slightly longer barrel. Max of 1247. So it's getting closer to what Tim says that this ammunition is set for. Standard deviation of 15.9. Average kinetic energy of 1266. It's pretty cool. Let's see what this can do now with some accuracy testing. Okay, here we are back at 5 yards. This is the distance I like to shoot, the Bodyguard 2.0. In most gunfights, you're probably not even going to be using sights. I thought it'd be cool to have a optic on here. I have another gun where it doesn't have the optic on there. In fact, that's in my pocket right now. But what we're going to do is we're going to see how this ammunition goes through holes in paper. Does it go through sideways? Does it go the right way? Does it throw flyers left or right? That's what we want to see with this, and that's what I mean by accuracy testing. All right, well, here we go. Okay, not bad. Let's go down, take a look. All right, so here we are at with our 5 shots. It's great ammo. It does all the things that, you know, ammunition should do. It should do when you are shooting it through. That is curious, that right there, but I don't think it's tumbling. And again, I'm pretty sure I shot 5 shots, but interesting. And then we have actually evidence of what it's doing behind this board cut out. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So not bad, just splintering of the wood a little bit. So doing fine. So first off, I can just say it is so nice being out here without layers of coats, being able to feel my fingers and toes. So much nicer. Even though we still have quite a bit of snow on the ground, it's so much nicer. All right, well, let's wrap things up today. Today we had a good time with the Bodyguard 2.0. We tested out the Buffalo Barnes, sometimes that's what it's called, Buffalo Bore Barnes loaded 80 grain, lead-free bullet projectile, hollow point projectile. And it performs sometimes how you might think some of these lead-frees are going to perform. You get terrific expansion, which is great. We're getting reliable expansion, but it's just getting too deep. I just wish they didn't make those pedals quite as wide. Maybe 0.55 or 0.5 expansion would be a little bit better if we could get something designed like that. People out there that are making this ammunition, that would probably do just a little bit better and was loaded up in this setup. You know, Tim Sundles, I've heard him on his channel say he doesn't know why anyone even wants this kind of ammo. And I can see, I don't think I want this ammunition, and so hopefully I bought it and you don't have to. But there are some of you I know with a wide audience, some of you are going to say, this is the best ammunition out there. Thank you, Trigger Bar. And now I'm for sure going to use it. That's awesome. More power to you. I hope that this does what you want it to do, and that you believe this is great ammunition for you. Hopefully this data helps everyone out. For me, it's probably not going to be the choice that I use. I have some other rounds that I would particularly like more than this. If you're new to the channel, check out some of those other videos. All right. Well, with that said, hope everyone has a great week, and let's get to shooting.
From pistols to rifles, we'll take on the best. Review and each weapon, put them to the test. With revolvers and shotguns, we'll break it all down. The Second Amendment protects from the crown.